Welcome back to another episode of Mystery Tales from the Heart of India. And today, I want you to picture this. The blazing sun over the Thar Desert, a land of golden sands and whispers carried by the wind. In the middle of this desert lies a ghost village. Its narrow lanes stand empty, its houses stand broken yet proud. And it feels as though the people just left, leaving plates on the floor and water in the pots. But here's the twist. They didn't leave slowly. They vanished in a single night. No one saw them go. No one knows where they went. And in over 200 years, not a single soul has dared to call this place home. But what if I told you this wasn't just one village? What if 84 entire settlements home to over 100,000 people all disappeared on the same night? What if this involved underground tunnels, a tyrant's obsession, and a curse so powerful it still protects these ruins today? This is the chilling story of Kuldhara, the vanished village, where an entire civilization chose honor over home. About 20 kilometers west of Jaisalmer, you'll find the ruins of Kuldhara. If you visit at sunrise, the desert looks endless. Dunes rising and falling like waves on a golden sea. But to understand what happened here, we must travel back to 1291 CE, when Palewal Brahmins first settled this barren land. They weren't ordinary settlers, they were refugees who had fled invasions, mastering survival in the harsh desert. By the early 1800s, Kuldhara was the crown jewel of 84 settlements with over 100,000 people, making it one of Rajasthan's largest communities. But 300 years ago, this was no ghost town. Kuldhara was alive and bustling. Children's laughter echoed through perfectly planned streets. Traders shouted prices in the marketplace. Camels laden with silk root goods rested in courtyards. The Palewals were visionaries who had mastered desert agriculture, building irrigation systems so advanced that modern engineers still study them. They could grow wheat, a water-intensive crop. In one of the world's most arid regions, they traded across ancient caravan routes, establishing posts from Iran to Europe. Their golden sandstone homes were designed with thick walls and courtyards to beat the desert heat. For over 500 years, they lived in prosperity here, becoming wealthy enough to rival kingdoms. So what could possibly make them abandon this paradise in a single night? The story takes us to the early 1800s, when Jaisalmer's real power lay with Prime Minister Salim Singh Mehta. Salim Singh was forged by tragedy. As a child, he watched officials murder his father in a political coup. This trauma consumed him with revenge and hunger for absolute power. He built a haveli so grand it rivaled the king's palace, with 38 carved balconies and floors taller than the royal residence. An act of defiance that forced the king to order their demolition. He imposed crushing taxes on communities, particularly targeting the wealthy Palewals. One fateful visit changed everything. Salim Singh's eyes fell upon the village chief's daughter, breathtakingly beautiful with grace that turned heads in every market. He decided she would be his wife. But this wasn't a request, it was an ultimatum. "Give me the girl," he declared, "or I will crush your people with taxes that will make Kuldhara a graveyard." For the Palewals, this was an attack on their honor, freedom, and way of life. The elders gathered under desert stars. Urgent messengers were sent to all 84 villages. That night, something unprecedented unfolded. A silent migration where an entire civilization chose honor over home. Imagine it. Mothers wrapping children to muffle cries, men carrying tools and grain, elders walking into the cold desert night. Over 100,000 people moving like ghosts across sand. No fires, no lamps, only footsteps disappearing into darkness. Archaeological discoveries reveal how they did it. Underground tunnels connecting buildings throughout Kuldhara, not simple cellars, but a complex system allowing the entire population to move unseen beneath streets. By dawn, Kuldhara was empty. Doors hung open, cooking pots sat over cold hearths, water shimmered in wells. Silver and jewelry lay scattered, abandoned so hastily owners never returned. Before leaving, elders whispered a curse at the temple, that no outsider would ever live here in peace. When Salim Singh arrived expecting his bride, he found only empty streets and echoes. For over 200 years, that curse has never been broken. Walking through Kuldhara feels like reading a diary left by an advanced civilization. Streets are laid in perfect symmetry, urban planning rivaling modern cities. Every house has central courtyards for cooling, thick walls against heat, and carved niches for lamps. The water system is remarkable. Stepwells descending multiple levels with carved chambers that stayed cool in blazing summers. Ancient irrigation channels captured every drop of rainfall. Ground radar revealed hidden tunnel networks and secret rooms built into walls. The Paluels had prepared for persecution, but some believe the answer lies in the curse, and the evidence is chilling. A government guard tried living here permanently, but within months, his father, wife, and daughter-in-law died mysterious deaths. Now, he leaves at sunset, returns at sunrise. Animals refuse to enter certain areas. Cattle wandering into Kuldhara are found dead by morning. Tourists report invisible hands brushing shoulders, anklets following them through streets, and overwhelming feelings of being watched. In 2013, the Indian Paranormal Society spent a night here with equipment. They recorded sudden 10-degree temperature drops, electronic malfunctions, and disembodied voices in ancient dialects. We documented moving shadows and unexplained sounds, reported leader Gaurav Tiwari. One investigator saw a figure in traditional attire, but it vanished. Despite attempts over 2 centuries, no one has established permanent settlement. Families abandon efforts within months, citing unexplained difficulties and unease. Scientists offer alternative explanations. In 2017, geologist Dr. A.B. Roy found destruction patterns matching earthquake zones. Collapsed roofs and widespread damage across all 84 villages suggested a catastrophic seismic event. The region sits on active fault lines. In 1819, a massive earthquake in nearby Kutch killed thousands. Other theories include Salim Singh's political oppression, water scarcity as wells dried by 1815, an economic decline when trade routes shifted. British records show population already declining. By 1890, only 37 residents remained. But here's what makes Kuldhara unique. It doesn't matter which theory is correct. What matters is what it represents. A community so unified it chose collective sacrifice over individual survival. Today, Kuldhara attracts over 100,000 visitors annually as a protected heritage site. Yet no one stays after sunset. Official hours end at 6 p.m., and guards ensure the gates close. By day, golden sandstone glows under the sun, drawing photographers, filmmakers, and researchers. By night, it is silent except for the wind. Locals say that's when the Paluels return, invisible but watching. Beyond tourism, Kuldhara inspires academic conferences on community resilience, water conservation, and desert ecology. Artists, writers, and musicians have woven its legend into novels, songs, and films, ensuring its story endures. It stands today not just as ruins, but as a testament to human dignity, solidarity, and the power of choice. Whether you believe in curses or earthquakes, Kuldhara forces us to ask, what would you give up for honor? What price would you pay for principle? When you face tough choices, remember the Paluels. The greatest victories often come not from fighting, but from refusing to be broken. The desert remembers. Kuldhara endures. The Paluels' choice echoes still. Beyond its walls and whispers, Kuldhara continues to surprise even seasoned explorers. In recent years, satellite imagery and drone surveys have uncovered subtle shifts in the landscape sand dunes creeping into courtyards, exposing faint traces of ancient roads that once connected Kuldhara to distant villages. Local botanists studying desert flora have noted that certain rare plants thrive only within the village's microclimate. Nourished by residual moisture in the underground channels the Paluels engineered centuries ago, photographers who return for multiple visits capture fleeting moments. A single flower blooming atop broken steps at dawn, with the sun's rays illuminating carvings hidden beneath a collapsed arch. Even scientists admit there is something poetic in how the desert reclaims this place, filling spaces once emptied by human choice, yet preserving the Paluels' legacy in every grain of sand. Kuldhara isn't just a relic of the past, it's a living laboratory, a canvas for nature's art, and a mirror reflecting our own resilience. And as you stand among its silent streets, you realize that Kuldhara's greatest secret might not be why it was abandoned, but how it teaches us to endure. Modern archaeological techniques continue to reveal Kuldhara's sophisticated planning, ground-penetrating radar. Mapping conducted by the Archaeological Survey of India has identified additional underground chambers extending far beyond the visible ruins, suggesting the Paliwels maintained secret storage facilities and emergency escape routes throughout their territory. These discoveries include granaries designed to preserve grain for decades, underground meeting halls where community decisions were made, and intricate ventilation systems that kept the tunnels habitable even during sandstorms. Recent carbon dating of artifacts found in these chambers suggests that Paliwels were actively expanding their underground infrastructure right up until their departure, indicating they anticipated trouble long before Salim Singh's ultimatum. Climate researchers studying ancient pollen samples from Kuldhara wells have reconstructed the region's environmental conditions over the past millennium. Their findings reveal that the Paliwels survived multiple severe droughts by innovating water conservation techniques that modern desert communities are now adopting. The village's positioning was on random. It sits at the intersection of three seasonal water channels that the Paliwels expertly manage through a network of check dams and filtration ponds. Even today, after 2 centuries of abandonment, these ancient water harvesting structures occasionally fill during heavy monsoons, creating temporary oases that attract migratory birds and desert wildlife. The psychological impact of Kuldhara extends far beyond folklore. Anthropologists have documented how the village's story influences contemporary decision-making in Rajasthani communities facing modern challenges. Villages threatened by mining operations or industrial displacement often invoke the Paliwel example, using Kuldhara as a symbol of collective resistance against exploitation. The phrase Kuldhara ki Kasam, the oath of Kuldhara, has entered regional vernacular, meaning a solemn promise to stand united against injustice, regardless of personal cost. This cultural phenomena demonstrates how historical events can transcend their immediate context to become enduring moral frameworks for future generations. Would you dare spend a night in Kuldhara? Tell me in comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Next time we're traveling where the past refuses to rest. Stay curious, stay safe, and remember, some places are empty for a reason. Sometimes that reason is more beautiful and powerful than we ever imagined.